Alright guys, so we're back. We have Operation Crusader. We're going to be battling for Tobruk. So you have your allied units here in the brown. I've got lots of armor divisions right up along this road that's going to basically lead to Baradia and the sea. You're going to see some Indian units, so these light beige browns. And then I'll be surrounded here in the greens by Italians and my German foe basically here in the, I like to call them baby puke brown color. As you can see, going through the rules, I was confused earlier. There is Rommel is on the board here. He's going to start up here with a huge stack of his comrades. So basically what I need to do as an allied player is the allies are going to have to hold Tobruk and all the bridges, or they need to hold Tobruk and have a clear path all the way off the east edge of the map. So let me go ahead and just double check here. So it's allied player wins if he both occupies the hex of Tobruk and has a bridge of hexes occupied by allied units or free of Axis units and their zone of controls from Tobruk off the east edge of the map. Anything else is an Axis victory. So basically I'm going to have to, as an allied player, I'm going to have to hold Tobruk and then all the way across to here. So it's going to come all the way across this board. You can't see it because I need to pan out. But I'll show you that when we get that. So I'm going to have to clear all of this. And for those of you who don't realize, the zone of control is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexes. So it's just basically, it's a circle of hexes. So anytime there's a unit, I have to be that far away from him. So, for example, when we zoom in here and you're able to see this gentleman here, so his zone of control is here, 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 and here, which is going to make it really difficult when I'm trying to make it pretty far across the map without any obstacles. So I need to make it all the way here to the edge in order for me to survive as an allied player. Now, as a German player, because I will be playing both sides, you know, it's a little bit of a different task here. So what I need to look at, sorry for the wiggly there, my tripod's a little broken today. So basically what I need to do as the German player is basically make sure that I push out so that even if the Allied are able to knock back, if I can hold some of these other grounds, basically some of these roads, because if I exert my zone of control, they can't go around. It's going to be really hard for them to basically come this direction when, I mean, even if they can get here, if an enemy exerts the zone of control, there's not much that can happen. So we do have some Allied air points and German air points, and it is the Allied player's turn first. So basically what we're going to do first is do our reinforcements, which we have none, and then I'm going to go ahead and roll 2 dice because Rommel is on the board. Let's see. So we got a 10, so he's going to stay on this turn, and he's going to try to lead his people to victory. So basically going to start with movement. What we'll do here is I'm going to try to move things out and see where we're at, and we'll come back and take a look at how everything turned out for us. Alright, so after the end of the Allied's turn, there wasn't a lot of damage done to the Axis. They were able to take out a small, as you can see over here, little glider, but overall it was kind of a failed operation attempt for them to try to scatter some of the German forces and the Italians over here by Tobruk. They really tried to break this up so that they could basically clear a path either this way to reconnect with the port, or they were going to try to head south, but they couldn't even do that. They just could not break through. The rolls were not there for them. They were overpowered. It did not turn out well. I took a lot of step loss, so we're going to see how that plays out after this German activation with their attack, because this may not end up too well for the Allies. So far, it's not looking pretty. Down here, the Allies did try to kind of scatter a little bit so that way they could work around. They tried to move out. I didn't want them all bunched up in case they got hit real hard. As you can see, Rommel over here, for German movement, they've already done their movement phase. They're getting ready to do their attacks. Rommel and a Panzer division has decided that they're basically going to come over here and join the fight. They're going to knock out this Indian unit, infantry unit, and more than likely they're going to just move. He's gonna bounce over here and start knocking out some of these Indian units, and then kind of come down here and take a look. As you can see, we had an Indian unit that needed to escape and retreat out to due to some combat, so he's kind of backed off for a little bit, and I'm sure he'll be rejoining the fight as soon as he's able to. It's really going to be unique to see how this plays out, because if the Germans roll really well, it's not going to look good for the Allied coming into turn 2, because right now the Allied don't have a lot of options. They really have to hold Tobruk and Baradia to get to the eastern edge of the map here, and I just don't know if we're going to be able to do it. I mean, it's definitely not an ideal first turn, the way that it turned out. Do I think that the Allies are done for? No, I don't, because there's some strong units in there. There's still some decent maneuvering with the way that the roads are. Shouldn't have a problem getting up in there, and hopefully knocking some of this portion out by Rommel up. I mean, in this game, Rommel can't die. I mean, he's basically going to jump to the next unit, whichever unit he prefers, and that unit's going to get a bonus, a slide over on their combat odds results. And this chart is really, like, it's kind of brutal. I mean, even on 2-to-1 odds, you're in order to not take any damage, you got to roll 9s. 9s or higher. I mean, if not, you're still taking damage, even on 8 on 2 dice, which, unfortunately, as you can see, my last couple rolls, they weren't very well. So it's not ideal for me to start out a game getting hammered like that. But let's take a look, and we'll go a little further. I'll pop back after the German combat phase, and we'll see kind of what happened. Alright, so Germans have attacked. Combat's finished up for the German side right now. So basically, Germans and Italians, I should say. So what we have here is that the Allies were able to basically hold on to Tobruk for at least another turn. They really got to get some backup over there. As you can see, the Germans have begun to spread out. They're coming over like Fort Capuzzo. I'm probably saying it wrong. You guys will probably eat me alive. But they're coming over here, and you've got the Germans were able to take a little bit of a position up here. They were able to take the port of Baradia, which is really not very good. And the reason for that being is that you can trace supply in this game to right now for either the port or to the edge of the map that's free of enemy zone of control. So, for example, using the roads, I can still basically take this route here all the way here, and I can always come down here. So, as long as I can make it over to here and connect back up, I'm okay. But with these guys over here, if I get them spread out over here into the middle, I'm going to lose supply, because I'm not going to have It's real easy for the Germans to come in through here. If I get any troops, if the Allies move over to here through the desert, and they're able to come up these roads into here to try to back up Tobruk, what that's going to cause is that's going to cause the Germans to just basically march down here and hold this fork in the road. And what that will do is knock supply out of the guys up here, because they're not going to be able to gain supply from Tobruk because there's enemy zone of control. So it's kind of now I gotta, as the Allied player's turn comes up, I gotta figure out what I want to do, because I don't necessarily like giving up. You have to have Tobruk in order to maintain the game. So what does that do? From a bigger standpoint, you have this giant map, and like I said, we are playing a short scenario, but I've got this giant map over here, and right now this battle is just here, and it's really intense because I got to make a decision, and the decision is, do I sacrifice what is at Tobruk now, and in hopes to move up here, take Baradia back, and move over and secure the port and try and win the game? Or do I take my armored division and the little bit of infantry I have down here on the map and pull them over here, trying to work my way and clear out, and in hopes that I don't lose supply of these guys? Because if I lose supply, then they're useless. They're not going to do me any good. So we'll go into the second turn here. I'm going to go ahead and play this out, see what happens. The tactics may change a little bit. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see what happens, and we'll check back in. Okay, so as you can see, the Allies have basically decided to form a wall, which, with the combat phase coming in right now, and then the exploit phase coming up next, they're basically going to try to knock these Italians and these German units out of the way. Rommel is still at Baradia. He did not go back to Germany, so he's just sitting on right next to the port. He's with a really tough unit. They were able to knock out some stuff on their last turn, so I'm not real fond of having Rommel that close to this line, but we're going to see how this plays out on the combat roll. We've decided up here in the Allies that they're just going to basically hold tight. They're not going to attack. They're just going to defend. They need really bad for these units, for these infantry units, to be able to come up, maybe take down this barraging unit over here that we have from the Germans, knock around the Italians a little bit, this Italian armor division, and just move on in here and see what they can do to back it up. It's a risky play for the Allies, because, like I said, if this does not go well for them, the Germans are definitely going to be cutting off supply for the Allies, and that could be disastrous. So we're going to go ahead and play this out, and I'll be right back. Okay, that was a devastating set of rolls. The Allies literally punched that entire line out. We're able to move up. They've moved up onto Rommel, as you can see here. So they're right up on top of Rommel here. A really nice barrage took out that stack of Italians. Just nailed them. A roll of 11 on a possible 12. I mean, they just crushed them. So it very well may have turned the tide for the Allies going into the latter half of the second turn. But again, they only have one turn left after this in order for them to hold both ports, and like I said, have a line going of supply all the way to the edge of the map. Not quite sure if it's going to be possible, but even if they fail at that objective, that massive onslaught right here on the wall up against Baradia on the roads was just a massacre. And, you know, I can't say... I mean, I'm surprised. It blows my mind. I've been rolling really horribly all night when it counts, and when it doesn't count, you know, of course, you know, I cannot believe that happened. It's so amazing to see such a beautiful thing happen where the Allies are able to punch through that entire line of enemy and just open it up and actually come into the almost third round with a chance of actually winning. So let's go ahead and start the German phase, and I will be back. Okay, so we are going into turn 3. As you can see, we've lost the unit here. Rommel and his boys, he was able to move. He moved into another and just annihilated and wiped out a lot of men in a single attack. But what the Germans did fail to do was to make a dent over here at the crossroads where they really needed to. I mean, not to say that it's a huge upset, but I mean, right now they were able to knock Tobruk down just a little bit. But the problem that they're going to have here for the Allies of even taking it is, like I said, they have to break these guys up, have no zone of control, all the way to the map. Even, I mean, it could be done below, but I just don't see it happening. I see a stellar performance here by the Allied player, which would be me, of course, of attempting to shine some hope here on this situation. But the reality is, I just don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think that it's possible to happen. I'm going to find out. I'm going to play this turn out all the way through to the end, and we're going to see what happens. Alright, so the game is over. As you can see, this little guy right down here, this infantry group here, they play a big part in a victory right now for the Axis. And the reason I say that, well, let's get some focus here, sorry guys. The reason that I say that is if you look up here on the map, there's Tobruk. That's great. But there's an enemy zone of control by these two units that the Allies could not get rid of. Which means that this path here is basically useless. Because victory conditions state that has to be free of enemy zone of control. So let's say I was to transfer this way, right? Hey, that looks good. No enemies. Okay, to no enemies. Even here, no enemies. That's great. And I come all the way down here, there's enemies. See, that could have been my path to victory, because from here, I could trace a supply all the way back up the map to here, and all the way up the board. But unfortunately, down here in Libya, on the road, stands the path of victory, the defeat, right here. So, again, I lost the game as the Axis player, the Allied player, but I won the game as the Axis player. So, you know, just a basic run through of the game. Really good concept. Definitely want to get to a bigger scenario. Use some of the more complex rules. But for such a small firefight, I mean, so to speak, it's just such an intense episode. You know, it's so small and you're so compacted all into one spot right in the beginning, and you're forced to make tough decisions because you have to break free, you have to get out, and you have to see the big point. I mean, the big picture. And unfortunately for me, to be honest with you, as the Allied player, I forgot this little guy was down here. He starts the game down here, and I just totally spaced him out, and he costs the Allied their victory. It is an Axis victory because I am unable to trace a enemy zone of control free supply train to the edge of the map on the east side. So thanks for watching Afrika First Edition. Like I said before, it's by Multiman Publishing. We'll put out by Multiman Publishing. Designed by the gamers, Dean Essig specifically. This version was out in 1993. There is a second edition. I know it's added some new rules. I've read those rules. It had some new features to it. Looked pretty cool, but I got a good deal on this. Was real excited to play it. I'm glad I got to share it with you guys. Thanks.